over there in Russia. So I had to make sure that Putin can tell his people, that motherfucker we've been waiting on here, this shit about to get cleaned up. Right? So Putin, his name is Vladimir Putin. Now why is that his name? Because he had to make reference to Vlad the Impaler. Why did he have to make reference to Vlad the Impaler? What is an impaler? Someone who slices a sword or a spear through something. To impale means to put a spear or a sword through. Now I showed y'all the sword between the star and the shield. Right? I showed it to y'all. Now watch this. The Excalibur is the sword that King Arthur removes, right, from the stone. Remember that. The stone. He had to remove the Excalibur from a stone. What's the stone? It's the 5-pointed star. It's the lodge. It's the Black Peace Stone Rangers that I got the letter P from. Proper preparation prevents poor performance, folks. Seriously. You know? So the Angel Bay brought me the P. He dropped it off. It's a hot potato. He handed it off to Larry. And Larry gave it to me. Proper preparation does prevent poor performance. This is it. This is how you do this shit. All of y'all can do this now. All of y'all can do this because y'all see how it work. Once you know how the car work, you can fix it. But as long as the car stay broke and you don't know how it work, you can never get it fixed. You got to go find you somebody who know how to fix it. What I'm about is auto class in session, goddammit. We finna show you motherfuckers how to fix your own car. And so, with that, shouts out everybody that stood up in the face of this tyranny. This is a new day. You know. So, hopefully, before the rooster crow 3 times, they'd be to turn my shit loose. I'm just saying. I want to wake up with a whole bunch of motherfuckers out here telling me, here go your shit. It's not going to happen because I got to go sit down and do their fucking negotiations and drag shit out like I'm not the baddest motherfucker. Like I didn't just prove this shit to these motherfuckers over the last 3 days. Because she told me I had 3 days to prove it. We done now. What you gonna do? You know? How you gonna tell these motherfuckers you laid this shit down? Ain't no way I can look my son in his face and tell him I knew how to fix this bullshit and don't fix it. It's finna get fixed. For real, 100, 100. You know? I done showed y'all who everybody was. Now, if you don't know who the imposters is, you don't want to know. Now, if you don't know who the real royal families is, you don't want to know. And if you think white supremacy is a white boy creation, you's a goddamn fool. We wouldn't be here if we had to wait for them to come up with the military strategy of white supremacy on their own. Wake up. It's a mind game to turn us against each other, and we ain't falling for it. How do I know this to be true? Because I done been confirmed by the Aryan nation. I done been confirmed by the militias, the don't tread on me groups. And already knocked and gave me my 3 knocks. I wouldn't know this shit if I didn't get the knocks. I done been through the Phineas priesthood. I done studied Charles Manson to find out that he wasn't a racist. And they lied to us about him. And had that man spend his life in that cage for nothing. Rotten bastards. You know, so, keep your head up and know, ain't no need to worry. The night is going away and it'll be all over in the morning. I'm about to lay this shit down. I'm just waiting on them to figure out who's who, what's what, and bring my shit. Quit playing with me. Alright. So we out. So I'm going to do some invites. This is a 9:22 start time off of 9:21 flip 7 on 4 corners. And 9:22 is born raised. So this is a child flip, save the children. So I'm going to start doing some invites. gonna see exactly what we do. Not really sure. It's been a while, so we're gonna go over some of what I've been doing in the meditations and the preparations for the next wave of this shit. The next wave doesn't require for me to do a whole lot of work, so I'm gonna go down my list and do a whole bunch of invites just so we can get this on the road. I was sitting here debating on doing a live because, you know, I really don't like doing these videos, but I do them anyway because it's part of what I'm supposed to do. And if I do what I'm supposed to do repeatedly, it got the benefit. If I do what other people want me to do repeatedly, I'm not going to be able to make any progress. So in a minute, I'm going to pull up my other phone and I'm going to go over some of these questions that people pose. One of them is the status of the indigenous, all this shit. And we've been doing all this fucking paperwork. That's all that Moorish shit. We don't need no fucking paperwork. We was already here. Them motherfuckers need some paperwork from us to tell us that they supposed to be here. We don't need no paperwork from them. We don't need no nationality cards. We gonna go into the nationality aspects of this shit. We're gonna go into, so this is just coming off some of the questions that I was asked last night. So I'm sitting there drinking my coffee. I'm gonna drop some info. So I appreciate it if y'all share. If y'all don't, I don't really care, but I would appreciate it if y'all do because this shit about over with. I've been thinking that shit for a whole fucking year and it ain't over yet. But somewhere along the line, we gonna get this shit right. See, people have a tendency. So I'm gonna tell y'all this ascension shit, how it worked, where we fucking up at. Where's we making the errors at in this ascension that's dragging this shit on. And I'm gonna tell y'all how we get stuck. I'm gonna go into a couple of things with the government, but I don't really want to focus on them. Mostly on the financial aspect, because that's what the biggest concerns is. The melanated indigenous and the financial aspect of this reset. And I've seen in the question, people was asking me about the gold and the silver reset. And then it was a brother and a sister had a whole conversation in there about it. So we're gonna get into some of that too. I got some hot shit on my mind, but I don't think I'm gonna let it out. I'm gonna put that on reserve. But in the meantime, this shit a wrap. I'm just waiting now on my son, and I'm waiting on a couple people from my team to come get me. So this shit then got to what we call critical mass. And critical mass is when the molecules reach the highest form of expression before they're forced to change. This is where we at, critical mass. So it been a whole lot of shenanigans going on, and nobody don't understand how this shit work. Nobody don't know that this is a game called life, that eternal beings play the game of life so that they can pass the time. We take this shit so personal. Well, the trick is to not take it personal. That's the whole trick. That's the key to life. Don't take this shit personal. Whether you're here or whether you're not here, life is going to progress on this planet because that's what life does. It proliferates. Life finds a way to express itself in varying different forms. Your frame of reference, your perspective of how you see life determines whether you get stuck or not. You develop your belief systems by people teaching you. Some people give you misinformation, and that locks you into a mindset of where you can't really see what you're up against. So when the pyramid text, or when the writings over the pyramid say, man, know thyself, it's telling you more or less that you need to use your own self as the first person perspective, as the frame of reference in which to view the world from what we call a God seat. Now, in order for you to be able to do that, you have to awaken the God seat in the brain, because you got to balance your internal condition to your external position. In other words, when your mindset is conditioned to think like a God, then your physical life will position you to live like a God. James Allen wrote, as a man thinketh, based off a Bible verse that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. What people got to understand is, if the whole key to this shit is some love shit, which I'm not really into that love and light shit, I'm into tear this motherfucker up shit. But that love and light shit is what she into. So, as we go through the process, we begin to be refined. Our life breaks down into sections and segments. These sections and these segments preparing us in blocks. It's a rites of passage. This rites of passage does something to condition the individual in either two ways, which they can have an internal or you can have an external conditioning. And that means you can either have an inner knowing and follow that, or you can follow the external expression of information, which may or may not be true. You will automatically know if it's true when you look at it from a central perspective. Now, in ancient Egypt, they told you the great mother was Taweret. That's the 13th seat in the zodiac. It's dead center. And this is what you call your bullseye, right? So this is why you have your Hathor representation. And then you also have your Sekhmet, your enraged energy field aspect that cannot be soothed except by, as they say in the pyramid text, they say, by mind. So the Sekhmet energy runs rampant and rageful until it's met face to face with sincere true love, and it freezes in its track. So this is what the Egyptian pyramid text is talking about when they say that Hathor was on a rampage and they had to give her wine in order to soothe her rage because she was killing all of the kids. Now notice this brings up the kids in the story. She was devouring her babies. This is symbolic that many of us think it mean it was literally a zodiac sign of the cat that came down on earth in the form of a cat and just started tearing shit up, and it was some real blood flowing. That's not what it mean at all. But if you're looking at it from the external lens, you can say that's exactly what it mean externally, because that's exactly what it say. But it don't mean exactly what it say. Now, you need to know your history. The reason you need to know your history, who you are, where you come from, and what kind of what your tribe is fuck this nationality shit. That doesn't do anything because all it does is support a false system. The system is false. It's inherently corrupt and it's over. So you can go get your nationality card. You're going to be trying to resurrect a dead contract. The contract has expired and the ancestors has returned to put order where there was no order, to balance the scales where there was an imbalance, and to allow the children the opportunity to have a future where these grown motherfuckers and fucked up their opportunities. Now they want to take the opportunities from the babies. Well, that's not going to happen. If it comes down to an adult and a child receiving a reward, the child is always going to be preferred because the child haven't been tainted. The child is coming from the most sincere place a person can come from, honesty. And when the child does a conjure, when a child does a conjure, then the child has to be considered first when it's in conflict with the parents. The best interest of the child is assessed based off what the complaint is or the grievance from the child. When the grievance is against the parent, then the child is looked at as a child because they're grieving the parents. Is this child trying to escape discipline or is the parent wrong? If it turns out the parent wrong, the preference goes to the child. How do you know if the parent is wrong? It's because what is the best interest of the child is the standard of review. So everything got to come out. Is the question that you ask as you evaluate the child is this in the best interest of the child? Is it in the best interest of the child to live with his mother or his father? Well, that's a mute question because that's 50-50. So now we're starting off with a 50-50 balance. Now, in order for us to maintain this 50-50 balance and to restore the family, somebody, one of the adults, have to look at the need of the child over the greed of the parent. We all want what the fuck we want. And we know this. We all want what the fuck we want. So if we know this, who's going to look out for the interests of the child while we wanting what we want? The child is needing. The child is needing. The child always needs until he's in a position to take care of himself. Now, I ain't doing no more invites. And that's the warm up. So now, let me scroll up, see if I got any questions in here before I really take this off. So, how y'all doing? I finally got out of Facebook jail. If y'all didn't know, I did a video in Facebook jail off of a different page called Soro Sapien. It's called the Jailbreak, the Rod Hayes Facebook Jailbreak. Anyway, I had to get some information out and I was offline, so I had to do it the backdoor way. But it's out there. Oh, I didn't even realize that my camera was flipped. There we go. Thanks, Andia. You know you the truth. Anyway, so we go in here and I'm almost done going through this to see what's what. Everybody got their purpose in life. Most of us are never raised in the manner to help us to discover our life purpose. Right? Now, because we're not raised in a way to help us discover our life purpose, we're not born with a user's manual. We don't come with a handbook that tell us how we gonna live this life. We have to figure this shit out. This the part that nobody not really getting. We gotta figure this shit out. The fuck is that? I hope that ain't no aliens coming. Unless they coming to take me home, then I don't care. Anyway, so we're gonna go into a couple of these questions, and we want to know. Oh, they already did that. They already blocked. The other page was blocked for the last week. That's why they figured that shit out. All it is a ping off the um um IP address. So I'm gonna have to pick this back up later. I got a situation to happen. So we'll be back to this a little bit later, and we're gonna do a part 2. UMIN.
SikApe.